Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be diving into an exciting topic that is very close to my heart: building a photography business. And I'm going to be speaking as someone who has built a photography business in Nigeria. So I'm going to be using the context of Nigeria a lot in this video. If you ever dreamed about turning your passion for photography into a thriving business, stick around because I've got some insights and some tips to share with you. When I first started my photography journey in 2011, I started my photography journey quite accidentally, I would say. Before then, I was heavily into photo editing, arts, drawing, and all of that. So I was already captured or captivated by the magic of creating pictures and creating images. And before I even discovered anything about DSLRs, the old, simple, rudimentary cameras, photo cameras that were on mobile phones back in those days, they were not as high-tech and as sophisticated as they are now. But I used to take pictures of flowers, trees, and nature and so on, put it into my computer and try to get some editing going on and get some good images. I don't know, it never occurred to me that you could actually make a business out of it. It was pure passion for me. Until I was getting married and I started having conversations with photographers to either do a pre-wedding shoot or actually shoot my wedding. And I realized that this same passion that I have, people were using it as a hustle or as even a primary source of income. And then I just got hooked. So as soon as my wedding was done, I got my first camera and I started practicing and learning. And the thing is that before I even got very good, I had already started my photography business, and I'm going to tell you how I did it as I shared tips for you. You might be out there, you have a passion for photography, you would love to pick up a camera, or maybe you idolize or you look up to somebody who is doing well as a photographer and you would like to be like that person. This video is for you. So for me, it was a roller coaster ride, and I started my photography business as a side hustle. So I was actually doing a 9-to-5, which made it even more difficult and more stressful. But it was worth it. So let's dive in and explore the unique opportunities and challenges that come with building a photography business, no matter the country you are. But if you're watching this in Nigeria, this video is particularly for you because my experiences are straight out of Nigeria, as they say. So the first thing is for you to first understand the market of whatever country you reside in. So if you're in Nigeria, you have to understand the Nigerian market. There are certain unique things about the Nigerian market which can translate into any other country, and that is tied around culture and traditions. So if you live in a country that is rich in culture and rich in tradition like Nigeria, with countless events like weddings, festivals, Nigerians take everything big. Birthday parties, people even celebrate new houses that they started renting. People even celebrate anything, housewarmings, cars. They just buy a new car, they want to celebrate. Nigerians party and they party hard. And Nigerians like having events and meetups. And Nigerians like looking glamorous, looking good. They like to floss and flaunt and show off. So a very good ground for any aspiring photographer. You would have a lot to do if you're an event photographer. And traditional ceremonies happening all the time. And these events are a gold mine for photographers because everyone wants to capture these special moments. And let's not forget the growing digital presence. More businesses and more individuals are recognizing the power of high quality visuals, especially digital photography, digital photos that you can use for your LinkedIn profile, you can use for adverts and campaigns, social media. I know a lot of photographers that have a steady stream of income from just servicing social media influencers who always want to look good, who always want to put out the latest images and so on and so forth. So these are opportunities that, if you're an aspiring photographer, would help you to grow your business. So you really have to just try to understand the context. In my case, I started with a wedding. My very first gig was a wedding, and it wasn't hard because Nigerians were many, our population is large, people are always getting married, you always know somebody who knows somebody who's getting married. And so I told my partner then, I said, let's look for a wedding to shoot. And it didn't take us a week. We got somebody who was shooting a wedding, who wanted the photographer for a wedding, and we negotiated a very reasonable price, being that I was a beginner, and that's how I started my photography business. So in a country like Nigeria, there is never a bad time to start a photography hustle. Even though, yes, there's a lot of competition, there are a lot of Nigerian photographers out there, but the opportunities are just as many, all right? And the same thing in other countries, I guess. If you live in a country that has a lot of tradition, a lot of culture, a lot of events, you have to try to understand your people, understand the market that you want to serve. But let's be real. Building a business isn't all sunshine and roses. There are challenges, and it's important to be aware of them. The photography industry is competitive, just like I said, and standing out can be tough. Plus, there are economic factors to consider, like the cost of equipment, fluctuating currency. This has happened a lot recently in the recent past in Nigeria, where the value of naira seems to be dropping, and everything is just going crazy. And let's not forget infrastructure challenges too. Things like power supply, internet connectivity, all of these things can be unpredictable. So it's good to be aware of these challenges. So if you're planning to go into a photography business, I'm just putting it out there that these are things that you need to be aware. So make a list of possible challenges, possible risks. All right, power supply, how are you going to deal with power supply? How are you going to deal with storage of files, backups, protecting your equipment, making sure that they don't get missing or damaged, insurance. You need to try to get insured for your equipment if you're going to invest heavily in them. And if you're starting small, you may even think about renting for a start instead of buying. There are so many things to consider, but it's good to plan, it's good to have a list. So we started about talking about understanding the market. Yes, the market is there, the opportunities are there, but then there are also challenges, there are also risks. But don't let these challenges discourage you. They're part of the journey. And with the right mindset and strategies, you can overcome them. So let's talk about essential steps to start your business. Where do you start? First of all, you could start by defining your niche. You could decide to specialize in a particular part or area of photography, so that will help you to stand out. For me, it was weddings. I started out with weddings, and it really helped my business to grow, because the advantage of weddings is that there are so many other things that come with being a wedding photographer. So apart from you dealing with the client, the couple who is getting married, you're also going to meet their family members. You're going to meet their friends in the bridal train and the groomsmen, the family members, uncles, the aunts, and all of them. And if you make a good impression and you develop good rapport, these people are going to be the source of your repeat business, because the uncle is going to call you and say, oh, my son is going to be 10 years old next week. I like the way you handle this wedding. I'd like you to come over and take his birthday pictures as well. So weddings is a good place to start. Or you can start with portraits. If you really can't deal with the hassle of wedding photography, and trust me, it is a hassle, you have to really be a good people person. But if you prefer to deal with people one-on-one, you can start with birthday portraits. Birthdays, everybody has a birthday, right? Birthdays will never run out. Even if people decide to stop getting married, which is very unlikely, people will always have birthdays. And in Nigeria, countries like Nigeria, where people take birthdays very seriously, this is a source of income. So you could decide to do portraits, or you could do commercial photography. If you're more into the corporate space, you could go into product photography, you could go into corporate events, or you could go into NGO photography. That's another area that I went into that was very lucrative for me. Just find out what you're passionate about and focus on that. The next important thing to do is to build your portfolio. Very, very important for you to build your portfolio. Your portfolio is your calling card. So make sure it showcases your best work. You have to build your portfolio. What does it mean to build a portfolio? As you go out there practicing, doing free jobs, doing paid jobs, you need to be able to pull out your best photos and put them together in a folder. And then the next thing is to put that folder, put that collection of your best photos into an online presence. So you could have a blog, you could have a professional website, or you could just have them on your social media profile. A lot of guys just make their Instagram their portfolio. So you put your best photos on your Instagram, open an Instagram account just for your photography, and then you always have that ready to show. So if somebody comes to you and says, I heard you're a photographer, I heard you're good, but I'd like to see your work, you show them, and most of the time that seals the deal. I, even as a professional photographer who hires other professional photographers, I always ask for a portfolio. I will never take it based on just what you tell me or how many years of experience you have. I like to see the work you've done. This happens, and this is the case in any business based on art. So that includes fashion, makeup, and so on. You have to have a portfolio. A professional website and active social media profile will help you to reach a wider audience.